the Green Thinkers Academy.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to study water resources and environmental hydraulics. Now we will begin with global water resources. Now before getting into detail, we need to have a basic idea about the structure of water. So moving on to the first slide. Now why are we at all studying water? Because water is inevitable for our survival. We cannot live without water, right? Hence it is known as the elixir of life. Now, we know that one water molecule is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So accordingly, its molecular formula is H2O, and subsequently its atomic weight comes as 18 daltons or 18 atomic mass unit, or AMU as you call it. Now, H2O is the only molecule to exist in all 3 states of matter without undergoing any sort of chemical change. Like in liquid, we have liquid water. Then in ice, we have it basically exhibits a solid form, and in gaseous form, H2 exists as water vapor or moisture, as you can see. Now, the structure of water is tetrahedral. Now, what is tetrahedral? It means there's one central atom to which 4 other atoms surrounding it are bounded to. Now, basically, in a water molecule, what happens? The central atom is the oxygen atom. See the very first figure, you will find a red bead at the center. It is the oxygen which is the central atom. See, to which is bound 2 more atoms. 2 white beads you can see, those are the hydrogen atoms. So accordingly, this tetrahedral structure is formed. Now moving on to the next slide. Now when I said that the 2 hydrogen atoms are bound to 1 oxygen atom, what I meant was these oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms in one water molecule are linked by chemical bonds. Now, why chemical bonds? Because for any molecule to attain stability, there has to be a chemical bond, right? Now, bonds are usually either formed by sharing of electrons, or by different transfer of electrons, or donating one electrons. One atom receives it, another one loses it, likewise. However, in a water molecule, in water molecules to be specific, there exists 2 types of bonds. One is covalent, another one is hydrogen. Now see the secondmost figure in this slide. The oxygen atom is linked to 1 hydrogen atom. Now this is specific to one particular water molecule. In one water molecule, the oxygen atom is linked to 1 hydrogen atom. Now this is referred to as the covalent bond. Now, water does not exist as a single molecule, right? Whether in a drop of water or whether in a pool of water. Now, water exists in the form of various molecules attached to each other. Now, it is these molecules of water which are attached or attracted to each other through hydrogen bonds, right? So, one water molecule is attached to another water molecule by hydrogen bonds, and one oxygen atom is linked to 2 hydrogen atoms via covalent bond. I hope it's clear now. Now, as you can see in the very first figure, that there are 2 bonds visible in one water molecule, forming the OH bonds on either side. The angle between these OH bonds is referred to as bond angle, and its value is roughly 105 degrees. And it is specific to specific molecules. And just for your information, remember that covalent bond is a stronger bond and hydrogen bond is a weaker bond. Now moving on to the next slide. Now we'll study water molecules as its formation right from its electronic structure. So the slide pertains to Lewis structures of water. Now the first component, that is hydrogen, its electronic configuration is 1s1. So we can say, see in the left hand side, there is 1 dot just adjacent to the H, so it's electron. Now moving on to the electronic configuration of oxygen, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So it's basically we have 6 electrons on the outer shell of the oxygen atom. Now 2 on top and bottom and 1 on either side. Now coming to the third figure, you see that the hydrogen atom is placed near the oxygen atom with the 2 electrons facing each other on either side. It is these 2 electrons which will get shared and it will form the bond. Now moving on to the next, see the 4th figure. You can see that a bond has been formed between the oxygen atom and the hydrogen atom, right? However, 2 pairs of electrons are still left on the upper side of oxygen and the lower side of oxygen. They do not get any atoms to share with their electrons with, and hence they are known as lone pairs. Now, electrons are negatively charged. It's a well-known fact. Now, it is the negative charge of the electrons of the lone pairs that water is imparted with a higher negative charge as compared to that of hydrogen atoms. Now, we can say that since oxygen is more electronegative than that of hydrogen, so in a water molecule there exists slightly, or rather you can say partial positive negative charge which is imparted by the oxygen and partial positive charge imparted by the hydrogen. Okay, moving on. See, in this slide you will see that the partial negative charge and partial positive charges are shown. The blue colored beads, they exhibit electrons, one of oxygen, another one of hydrogen, forming the respective covalent bonds on either side. Now, due to increase in number of electrons within the nucleus of oxygen atom, which is higher than that of oxygen atom, the partial negative charge exists along with partial positive charge. Now, thus we can conclude that hydrogen is electropositive and oxygen is electronegative in nature. So we can say that water is polar. Now, by polarity, what we mean is, see, for any substance to dissolve in water, what needs to be done? The substance which is to get dissolved in water must get attracted to water, means it has to be hydrophilic. At the same time, it has to dissolve in that water, right? Now, in order to any substance to get dissolved in water, both the solvent and the solute, they need to be polar, else they're not going to mix. Oil and water, they do not mix at all. So basically, polarity, any substance is called polar if any molecule with 2 different charges, 2 different electrical charges are present, and the rest are referred to as non-polar. Now, this is why water is a polar substance, because it has both positive charge and negative charge within. Okay, now moving on to the next slide. Now, there's as we discussed, polarity, which is basically the attraction of polar substance towards water and their subsequent dissolution in water. Now, there's one more property which is called the dipolarity. Dipolarity, see, it is very much clear from this previous discussion that there is unequal sharing of electrons, right? Now, a water molecule is said to be dipolar because it has a positive end and a negative end. Means a positive pole and a negative pole as a result of the uneven distribution of the electrons, because there is positive and negative charges both are there. Now, the dipole nature within a water molecule creates attractive forces known as hydrogen bonding, allowing them to stick together. When 2 polar molecules come near each other, they tend to get attracted due to polarity. Okay. And dipolarity can also be seen in different other molecules, like the ones with the hydroxyl group, amine group, then carbonyl group, likewise. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much.